continue Oneness versus the 1% by Vandana, Shiva and Kartikey Shiva. Gambling in the global casino while appropriating the wealth of people. The story of Buffett. The one economy being built by Bill Gates, Warren Buffett and big money is evidenced by the fact that the largest investment made by the Gates Foundation Trust, worth $11.8 billion in 2014, is in the US conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway, whose chief executive, Warren Buffett, a trustee of the Gates Foundation, has donated billions to the foundation. The BMGF Trust manages the investment assets and transfers proceeds to the foundation as necessary to achieve the foundation's charitable goals. The Trust's bigger investment stakes are in Berkshire Hathaway. Bill Gates also serves as a board member of Berkshire Hathaway, which has 60 subsidiaries, mainly US-based, in sectors including agriculture, energy, retail, media, transportation, electronics, chemicals, jewellery, furniture and insurance. In our world, this would qualify as conflict of interest, but in the world of big money, it is innovation. How did Buffett get so rich? Warren Buffett did not become rich with Berkshire Hathaway. He accumulated wealth through the government employees insurance company, GEICO. He sold insurance to government employees, people who do not get to choose their insurance terms and conditions. It is their employer who picks from among the choices that Buffett decides to offer, at a price of his choosing, signed off by the regulator and paid for by the employee. A part of every government salary automatically diverted as deductible insurance payment into Buffett's bank, an efficient self-sustaining model of cash flow to Buffett land, casinos and insurance companies. The most lucrative enterprises in the world use probability to earn profits. Legal language is employed to define events that rarely occur, and it is these improbable events that insurance contracts cover. Probability is used to earn profits by insuring events that rarely happened, and the event of a rare payout. And in the event of a rare payout, Buffett loses the insured value but retains a deductible which covers his costs, allowing him to break even. Break odds is what happens when policies expire without a claim. According to the Chicago Mercantile Exchange data collected over 3 years, 1997 to 1999, 76.5% of all options, like insurance, expire worthless. In addition, 76.5% of all government employees' insurance premiums go directly to the insurance company. Moreover, the cost of the payout due, if the insured event does occur, is pre-factored into the insurance premium paid. The insurance company gets an insured income with 100% certainty. Selling options is what the Wall Street elite traders do. Billions are made on this every day. Warren Buffett's favourite option strategy apparently is selling puts. Puts are options to buy into the outcome, essentially a contract. Let's be clear, this is not a bet on the outcome, which might involve some probability. It is merely a reservation at a table at which the owner of the option may choose to sit in the future. In 1993, Buffett sold 50,000 put contracts, receiving $7.5 million in upfront cash premiums. Simultaneously, he insured, probably through his own insurance company, 5 million shares of Coca-Cola at $35 a share, shares he did not possess at the time. The value of each share then was $39, $4 above the insured value. If on the expiration date of the 50,000 put contracts, the value of Coca-Cola shares was higher than $35, Buffett would take home the $7.5 million premium and the ensured friends of Buffett would have an option to purchase the shares at market value. If, however, Coca-Cola shares suddenly dropped in value, he would get to keep the cash premium of $7.5 million and still own 5 million shares, each purchased at $4 below market value. While global economies crashed and Greece and Portugal were imprisoned by loan terms, Warren Buffett was busy acquiring the Burlington North Santa Fe rail system. On the 3rd of November 2009, he sold 5.5 million put options to establish a stake in the company before he purchased the entire company and made it private. Then he withdrew his account and cashed in. He also sold put options on various stock indices around the world, raising $4.9 billion from the sale. Put option sellers are the sole survivors of an economic meltdown, their capital and interest insulated from the economy by the government as they were during the meltdown of 2008. Vanguard and the new armada of investment funds. How the 1% control the economy and giant corporations. Fuck the EU. Victoria Nuland, Assistant Secretary of State for European and Eurasia Affairs, United States Department of State. The above was said during a telephone conversation that took place between Nuland and the US Ambassador to Ukraine on the 28th of January 2014. Victoria Nuland also has ties to the Vanguard Group, a major private financial institution. Her assistant is an employee of Vanguard. Nuland orchestrated a regime change in Ukraine on the 22nd of February 2014, spending $5 billion to destabilise the country. Her assistant was arrested in Germany with billions in counterfeit currency printed by the Vanguard company in 2016. In an article titled "Vanguard Reaches $3 trillion in Assets Matching Entire Hedge Fund Industry" by Kirsten Grind, the Wall Street Journal described the Vanguard Group as an asset manager selling index funds from a leafy suburb of Philadelphia that now has about the same amount of assets under management as the entire hedge fund industry, which, with all the capital, Vanguard has grown into the owner of industry within the economy at least. Moreover, its involvement with academia and Greystone makes it a political institution as well. Academia, formerly Blackwater, which owns Greystone, is a US private military company founded in 1997 by former Naval SEAL officer Eric Prince. Other large and unregulated institutions including Fidelity, BlackRock and State Street. When we began writing this book in 2016, Vanguard was worth $3 trillion. By the time we started editing it in 2017, the group's wealth had increased to $4.3 trillion. At the time of going to print in India in 2018, its assets had jumped to $5.1 trillion. Vanguard is owned by its investors. It's a mask for the billionaires of the world. It was created in 1958 when Wellington Fund, established with $10,000 on the 27th of December 1928 by Walter Morgan, merged with Windsor's funds. Today, Vanguard is a 118 funds family. In 1974, the Vanguard Group was formed and its investors became its charter members, exclusively its owners. As John Bogle, chairman of Wellington Funds, said, "While I was out as Wellington's management chief executive, I remained in as chairman and president of Wellington's Group and its sister funds. After 8 months of laborious study and give and take, I was able to persuade the fund directors to retain me in my post and build a small staff of administer the fund's accounting, shareholder records, keeping the legal affairs. We formed a new corporation to handle these responsibilities, wholly owned by the funds themselves and operating on an at-cost basis. A truly mutual structure unique in the industry. The name I choose for the new firm, of course, was Vanguard, the Vanguard Group, Inc. The group was named after Horatio Nelson's flagship vessel at the Battle of the Nile, the HMS Vanguard. In 2003, Vanguard Wellington had assets amounting to $29,985 today. The Vanguard Group controls assets worth more than $5.1 trillion. This is the magic of financialization. Between 1978 and 2003, the annual rate of return to investors was 13%, and the cumulative return was 2,058%. This was 2.6% more annually and 950% more cumulatively than rival funds. Vanguard website states, unlike any other investment company, we are built to create wealth only for our clients, not for outside owners. That motivates us to keep costs low, currently less than 1/5 the industrial average. This means our fund investors to seek better earnings over time. We are stewards of the assets of more than 20 million clients, which officers around the world we serve. Individuals investing on their own, participants in employee-sponsored retirement plans, financial advisors, institutional investors, investors outside the United States. No matter which giant corporation we look at, Vanguard owns the highest shares in it. And I will just show you a picture of these on, rather than go through them. Make sure you can see them all. Okay, I'm not going to go through all the who ranked the highest net worth in all of these shares. You can buy the book for that, and it's well worth buying it just for that. So I will just continue. The technology machine of the 1%. How the robber barons and the toxic cartel poisoned our daily bread and the planet. Our beautiful planet has evolved over 4 to 5 billion years and sustained humanity for 200,000 years. We have farmed for 10,000 years without toxins and poisons. We have eaten more than 10,000 species of plants bred with intelligence from diversity, nutrition, taste, quality and resilience. Today, the earth, our farms, our daily bread is poisoned and polluted, threatening the well-being of the planet and its inhabitants. Biodiversity is being pirated and plundered and pushed to extinction at a pace that threatens the very existence of our species, to quote Mary A. Mason. An anthropogenic mass extinction is underway that will affect all life on the planet, and humans will struggle to survive the phenomenon. Industrial agriculture based on toxins and fossil fuel is the main driver of both the sixth mass extinction and of climate change. High-cost chemical farming has trapped farmers in debt, emptying out the countryside. More than 300,000 Indian farmers have committed suicide because of indebtedness, according to the report submitted by the United Nations Human Rights Council by Hilal Elver, Special Rapporteur on Rights to Food, and Baskut Tunuk, Special Rapporteur on Toxics, Pesticides and Catastrophic Impacts on the Environment. human health and society as a whole, including an estimated 200,000 deaths a year from acute poisoning. Chronic exposure to pesticides has been linked to cancer, Alzheimer's and Parkinson's disease, hormone disruption, developmental disorder and sterility. Anthropogenic species extinction and climate change is ecocide. Crimes against nature, killing farmers through debt and people through cancer and pesticide poisoning is genocide. Crimes against humanity. A century ago, the money and oil of the robber barons came together with the finances and toxic technologies from the labs and I.G. Faber to form the toxic cartel that evolved the tools of killing. This is how a century of ecocide and genocide through poisons and toxic chemicals began. Chemicals developed to kill people in Hitler's concentration camps during World War II began the agrochemicals from industrial agriculture when the war ended. The industrial agriculture was then forced on people everywhere. Standard Oil and I.G. Farben founded a company, Standard I.G. Farben, in 1927 and then exchanged patents to control economies on both sides of the Atlantic. They joined hands to open up the Auschwitz concentration camp to produce artificial rubber and synthetic gasoline from coal. They provided the capital and technologies while Hitler provided the labour of the concentration camp. Monsanto and Bayer, which have now merged, have a long history. They made explosives and legally poisonous gases using shared technologies and sold them on both sides. The Allied and Axis powers during World War II, Bayer was then a part of I.G. Farben. Hitler's economic power and pre-war Germany highest foreign exchange earner, with offices in the United States and Switzerland. I.G. Farben was also a foreign intelligence operation. Hermann Schmitz was the president of the company. His nephew, Max Eigner, a director, while Eigner's brother, Rudolf, handled the New York arm of the VAWI network as vice president of Chemyako. VAWI was a Nazi foreign intelligence operation. Chemyako was supported by a retainer fee from I.G. Farben, and it handled the US expenses of the country. The American company was controlled by I.G. Farben and was a valuable source of information. It was investigated by the US Department of Justice during the war. Paul Warburg, the brother of Max Warburg, a member of Fabian Aufsichtsrat Supervisory Board, founded the Federal Reserve System in the United States. The central banking system was created on the 23rd of December 1918 with the enactment of the Federal Reserve Act. Warburg in 1907 had published a plan for modified central bank in the New York Times Financial Review, which contributed to the creation of the Federal Reserve System. Max Warburg and Hermann Schmitz were the central players of the Farben Empire. Other guiding hands of the Farben Vorstand Executive Board included Karl Bosch, Fritz Termeer, Kurt Oppenheim and George von Schnitzler. Each one of them was declared a war criminal after World War II, with the exception of Paul Warburg. Monsanto and Bayer had a joint venture, Moby, in 1954. That was part of the toxic cartel. The I.G. Farben controlling stakes is both corporations were with the same private equity firms. Their expertise was acquired in the arena of war. Monsanto entered into partnership with I.G. Farben, Hitler's supplier of Zyklon B, cyanide-based pesticide used in concentration camps during the Holocaust. It was used as evidence in the Nuremberg trials, which found Faben and its partners, including Bayer, BASF, BASF, and Hoch Aventis, guilty of war crimes. Moby also supplied the ingredients for Agent Orange during the Vietnamese War, 1961-71. 20 million gallons of Moby defoliants and herbicides were sprayed over South Vietnam. Monsanto and Bayer crossed license. Agent Orange resistance has also been cross-developed for decades. While wars were fought, lives were lost, and countries were carved into holy lands with artificial boundaries that suit colonisation and resource grab. The two corporations sold chemicals as bombs and poison. So I'm going to leave it there for now.